When aliens first detected the human warship, nothing about it made sense to them. In the dark space beyond the Cathari border, a single shape drifted with slow and steady movement. Their long-range sensors captured its outline, but the readings came back wrong again and again. The vessel looked heavy, far too heavy for anything that could hold itself together in normal space. The hull appeared thick, layered, and built from materials the Cathari science teams could not understand. It moved without any sign of strain. It moved like it belonged there. High Counselor Vreth Kayoran stood inside the main observation hall of the conquered station. Soft blue lights glowed overhead as the screens displayed the strange shape. He raised his frilled crest in confusion. He had led the border systems for 12 cycles, yet he had never seen anything like this before. He asked his science officer if the image was a sensor ghost. The officer ran the scan 3 times and gave the same answer each time. The object was real. The mass was real. The readings were accurate, but Vreth Kayoran refused to accept this so quickly. A vessel this size should not exist. A ship made of such dense material should collapse. Any species that built something like that would have to come from a world of extreme danger or impossible pressure. No known civilization would choose such unnecessary design. He felt a quiet unease settle across his chest. The unknown object did not act like a drifting wreck or abandoned platform. It moved with correct speed and direction. It traveled with clear intent. He ordered a full council meeting. Far across that same stretch of space, inside the human vessel Horizon Spear, Commander Alex Carver walked across the main deck. He checked the incoming transmissions again. There were none yet. He expected a greeting from the Cathari border station, since the humans had already sent their diplomatic message hours earlier. They had not come as enemies. They had come to establish first contact and open safe travel routes. Alex hoped the meeting would go well. Humans were new to this part of space, and although they had met a few neighbor species before, the Cathari were different. Early scouting reports described them as cautious, calm, and thoughtful. If there was any species that would respond gently to a new visitor, it should have been them. Alex took a slow breath. He wore a simple dark uniform and kept his tone light when he spoke to his crew. He believed diplomacy depended first on attitude. If he stayed calm, the rest of the ship would stay calm as well. Lieutenant Melanie Brooks sat at the main control station, her fingers moving smoothly across the interface. She monitored power levels, shield status, and communication channels. She was younger than Alex but skilled, and she enjoyed exploring unknown space. She liked the idea of peaceful meetings, even if humans had a difficult reputation. She noticed the lack of response from the Cathari and frowned. She asked Alex if they should send a second message. Alex decided they should wait. Perhaps the Cathari were preparing their own formal greeting. Perhaps their communication systems needed alignment. Nothing seemed urgent. Inside the Cathari Council Hall, however, the mood had shifted. What should have been a calm diplomatic moment now felt like an emergency. Council members argued softly with one another. They debated whether the strange vessel was a threat. They studied its strange, heavy hull again and again. The image magnified on their hollow screens revealed no weapons, but the Cathari did not trust appearances. A ship that large needed little visible weaponry. Its mass alone could cause harm. Captain Lersch of the Border Fleet stood forward and offered to take a closer look. He was steady and bold, and he believed that careful study could solve anything. He volunteered to approach the unknown vessel with a small escort of observation ships. The council approved his plan. Soon, his fleet moved toward the strange object drifting at the edge of Cathari space. Lieutenant Brooks noticed the movement of several smaller vessels approaching them. She informed Alex. He walked closer to her station and studied the approaching signatures. Their shapes matched Cathari ships exactly, and they did not raise shields or charge weapons. Alex felt relieved. This looked like the beginning of peaceful contact. He asked Brooks to prepare a greeting message. She adjusted the transmission field and checked for interference. The Horizon Spear systems were strong, but the region of space around them contained natural static currents. She began sending the greeting. On Captain Lersch's vessel, however, the received message sounded different. It came through the static in broken patterns. The words were unclear. The signal pulsed with strange energy spikes. To the Cathari, it looked like an encrypted threat warning, not a peaceful greeting. Lersh did not assume the worst, but he did not understand the human's intention. He ordered a series of harmless probe bursts. These small glowing spheres carried no destructive power. They were designed to measure shielding fields and material structure. This was standard procedure with unknown ships. He launched 3 probes toward the human vessel. On the horizon sphere, Brooks saw the energy traces of the probes immediately. Her heart jumped. To humans, these probes looked like weapons testing. She quickly checked their signatures. When she noticed they carried no harmful energy, she relaxed again but still reported the action to Alex. Alex understood the meaning right away. The Cathari were scanning them. This was not hostile. Many civilizations preferred caution. He allowed the ship's defensive field to remain at its lowest setting, stronger than most shields but completely passive. The probe struck the human vessel's field and dissolved instantly into faint flashes of light. On the Cathari side, this sight caused confusion. The probe data returned almost no information because the human shields absorbed the readings too smoothly. The Cathari had never seen a defense field act like this before. Their probes might as well have vanished into a void. Lersh felt his crew stiffen around him. If their probes could not measure the unknown vessel, then the vessel's systems were on a level far beyond common technology. Lersh sent another brief message asking for identification. The reply from the human ship came through again, but the static currents continued to distort the words. The Cathari translated only fragments. They could not tell if the humans were offering peace or demanding compliance. Inside the council hall, Vreth Kaoran tried to make sense of the situation. He paced slowly as the council members raised new questions. If this vessel belonged to a species with such strong shielding, what else were they capable of? Did they come from a world with forces stronger than anything the Cathari had seen? Did they build their ships like armored beasts because their own home world demanded it? The council could not agree. Some believed the vessel was peaceful. Others believed it was a danger beyond anything recorded. No one believed the humans were simply explorers. It seemed impossible for explorers to build something so powerful. Back on the horizon sphere, Brooks worked hard to clear the interference in the communication lines. She tried different frequencies, different pulse patterns, and different settings, but the signals still carried distortions. Alex remained patient. He knew that first contact depended on trust and time. He instructed the crew to maintain position and avoid sudden movement. He wanted the Cathari to see that the humans had no desire to alarm them. As the minutes passed, however, the distance between the two fleets felt heavier. The unknown hung between them like a silent weight. Lersh's fleet moved into a wide arc around the human vessel. The Cathari ships were small and slim, each shaped for speed and gentle maneuvering. They looked almost fragile compared to the horizon sphere. The human vessel's engines glowed a soft gold, but the ship remained motionless. Its large hull looked more like the body of a creature that had survived harsh storms for many ages. Its smooth armor reflected faint stars across its surface. Lersh stared at it in silence. He had seen ships of many species, but none gave him this feeling. None looked so calm while holding such strength. He sent a report back to the council. He explained what he saw, how the ship behaved, and how its shields reacted. His voice stayed steady, but he could not hide his concern. The council members listened closely and wondered if this was the beginning of a new era for them, or a new threat. Inside Horizon Spear, Alex Carver waited for any clear response from the Cathari. He wanted this moment to be the first step toward friendship. He hoped that soon they would speak face to face, and all confusion would fade. Brooks informed him that more Cathari probes were prepared. Alex approved passive reception again. He did not want the aliens to feel unsafe. The probes hit the shield and vanished again. This time, Lersh's crew reacted with open alarm. Their probes returned nothing, not even failure reports. It was as though the human vessel had simply swallowed them. Lersh tried to calm his officers. He reminded them that fear caused mistakes. But as he looked again at the enormous vessel with its silent golden lights and unreadable systems, he felt a quiet fear growing inside him as well. Something about this ship was beyond normal understanding. Something about its existence suggested a story he did not yet know. The council contacted him and asked for his personal opinion. He hesitated before answering. He said the vessel did not appear hostile. He said it acted calm, slow, and steady. But he also said that its power was unlike anything the Cathari had ever encountered. The council fell silent. None of them wanted conflict. None of them wanted to be the first to make a mistake. On Horizon Spear, Alex turned toward the wide display showing the Cathari fleet. He watched their small ships drift across the dark. He felt a sense of responsibility. He hoped he could guide this first meeting toward peace. He asked Brooks to attempt another communication message, even simpler than before. She agreed and prepared a clear introduction. She spoke in calm and steady tone, identifying their ship, their purpose, and their peaceful intent. The message left the Horizon Spear and entered the static-filled region of space. It traveled like a brave spark through the interference. On Captain Lersch's ship, the message arrived once more in a broken pattern. It was more understandable now, but still unclear. The words peace and exploration reached them, but so did words that sounded like shield and defense. The Cathari debated what these mixed signals meant. Lersch kept studying the unknown vessel. He felt that the humans were trying to communicate honestly, but he could not be certain. Strong beings could show calm behavior before striking. Still, he believed in caution, not aggression. He chose to hold position. Inside the council hall, Vreth Kaorin finally made a decision. He ordered the fleet to maintain distance but not retreat. He wanted the humans to know the Cathari were not afraid, but also not hostile. Thus the two groups remained there in silent tension, neither side moving, neither side attacking, both watching, both waiting. The space between them felt deep and wide. It held confusion, curiosity, and fear. This was how the first meeting began, with uncertainty, with misunderstood signals, with strength that looked impossible. The Cathari waited for clarity. The humans waited for response. The Horizon Spear drifted like a quiet giant, gentle in movement yet heavy with unseen power. No one fired a weapon, no one fled, but in the hearts of both sides they felt the truth. This moment would shape everything that came next. The silence between the human ship and the Cathari fleet lasted longer than anyone expected. Both sides held their position, and both sides tried to read meaning where none was clear. The human vessel Horizon Spear remained still, its engines softly lit and its shield steady. The Cathari ships drifted in a loose circle, keeping careful distance. No one wanted to provoke a misunderstanding. No one wanted to be the reason something peaceful turned into something dangerous. Inside the Cathari Council Hall, Vreth Kaorin studied the latest reports from Captain Lersch. The images showed the heavy human ship reflecting starlight like a giant metal mountain. He wondered again how such a vessel could exist. His people built thin and flexible ships. They valued efficiency, balance, and light design. A ship with this kind of density felt unnatural to them. He turned to his advisors and asked for opinions. Some believed the humans were a strong but peaceful species. Others feared that any species capable of building something like Horizon Spear must have survived extreme dangers. If they came from such a world, perhaps they were shaped by hardship. Perhaps they learned to solve problems with force. In contrast, the humans aboard Horizon Spear discussed their own concerns. Commander Alex Carver gathered his senior crew in the briefing room. The simple metal walls hummed softly with engine power. The projection table displayed the Cathari fleet positions. Alex explained that they could not assume hostility. The Cathari had not fired any weapons. They had not tried to block their path. They only continued to test the ship with probes. He believed these tests came from fear, not aggression. Lieutenant Melanie Brooks agreed. She pointed out that the probes carried no harmful power. They were basic scanning tools. She said the Cathari probably wanted to understand what kind of ship they were facing. The other officers exchanged quiet looks. They all knew the same thing. The Horizon Spear's design made peaceful first contact difficult. Most species built ships that looked light, safe, and open. Humans, however, came from a world of storms, pressure, gravity, and large predators. Their ships were built like shelters. Alex dismissed the meeting with a calm voice. He told them to remain patient. Soon, he believed, the Cathari would understand that humans were not a threat. Captain Lersch received another report from his scanner teams. They detected small energy fluctuations around the human shields. These fluctuations were not weapon charges. They looked like adjustments for communication attempts. Lersch felt relief. This meant the humans still wanted to talk. He decided to send a cautious message. He kept the words simple. He asked the humans to identify themselves again, but this time he used a slow pattern meant to pass through interference. Inside Horizon Spear, Brooks received the signal. She smiled slightly. The message was still broken, but it was clearer than before. She looked at Alex and told him that the Cathari were asking for identification. Alex gave a slow nod. He told her to send a direct and calm message in return. Brooks spoke with steady tone, giving their names, their purpose, and their peaceful goals. She also requested a clear communication channel, hoping the Cathari could adjust their receivers. The message was stronger this time. The static still changed the sound, but most of the meaning survived. Captain Lersch replayed it 3 times. His crew waited quietly. Lersch listened to the broken words. He heard the name of their ship. He heard the word peace. He heard exploration. He also heard the word shields, but this time it felt less threatening. Perhaps the humans were simply explaining the strength of their systems. He sent the recordings to the council. Inside the council hall, Vreth Kaoran watched the message with careful focus. He lowered his voice and said that the humans sounded sincere. His advisors studied the broken transmission. They debated every phrase. Some still feared the unknown. Others believed this was the chance to make a new ally. Kaoran finally made a decision. He told Lersch to hold his position but prepare for a controlled communication link. It would not be face-to-face, but it would allow clearer words. Lersch agreed and began activating the long-range translator field. On Horizon Spear, Brooks noticed a new energy signature forming between the fleets. She studied it and realized it was a communication field. She turned to Alex and smiled with relief. Alex approved the link. The first words through the field were still rough but understandable. A voice from the Cathari side asked the humans to confirm their reason for entering Cathari space. The tone was cautious, not hostile. Alex stepped closer to the terminal. He spoke with gentle calm. He explained that they came seeking peaceful contact, study of local regions, and possible cooperation. He told them that humans respected the territory of others. The Cathari listened in silence. Kaoran asked Lersch for his thoughts. Lersch said the humans appeared honest. He said their words felt steady and patient. He also said no enemy would remain so calm while surrounded by foreign ships. Kaoran considered this. Then he gave permission for limited diplomatic exchange. Brooks received the approval. She turned to Alex with a sense of hope. Alex ordered the crew to prepare for a soft maneuver. They would move into a neutral zone between the fleets. They wanted to show trust. They wanted to show they did not fear peaceful approach. The Horizon Spear drifted forward a short distance. The Cathari reacted with quick alarm, but Lersch ordered them to stay calm. He watched the human ship closely. Its engines stayed at gentle power. Its weapons stayed offline. He realized this movement was symbolic. The Cathari ships adjusted their position slightly. They opened a small corridor for clear communication. Alex thanked them through the link. Kaoran responded with a cautious greeting. Their words still passed through the static, but the meaning felt stronger now. Trust was slow, but it was growing. As this happened, the crews on both sides watched with mixed feelings. The humans wondered what the Cathari looked like up close. The Cathari wondered how humans could build such massive vessels. Brooks told Alex that she could feel the tension but also a rising sense of connection. Alex felt the same. Still, the uncertainty had not disappeared. The Cathari continued to study every movement of the human ship. A single wrong impression could still break everything. Lersch decided to send a small, unmanned craft toward the Horizon Spear. It carried a simple recording device. He hoped the humans would allow it to approach so that his people could gather clean images. Brooks detected the craft and informed Alex. It was small, harmless, and slow. Alex allowed it to come close. The craft drifted along the Horizon Spear's hull and recorded the armor surface. The images shocked the Cathari science team. The hull looked stronger than anything they had recorded before. The layers seemed designed to withstand massive pressure. It felt like the skin of a creature evolved under violent conditions. Kaorin stared at the images. He asked how any species could shape metal so dense, yet move it across light years. His science officer explained that the humans must have mastered extreme engineering. This discovery increased both curiosity and fear. Meanwhile, on Horizon Spear, Alex asked Brooks to prepare a message explaining the armor structure in simple terms. He said honesty was the best way to calm their worries. Brooks prepared the explanation, describing how humanity built strong ships because their world forced them to adapt. She sent the message. When Lersch played the recording, his crew listened with wide eyes. The humans were not trying to intimidate them. They were simply explaining their nature. Lersch felt a strange respect growing. He sent a message back, thanking them for the explanation. The Cathari Council held another meeting. Some still feared the humans, but Kaorin emphasized that fear could not guide every decision. He said they needed to look at intention, not size. He proposed allowing the humans to enter a safe orbit around a nearby moon for further talks. Lersch delivered the message to the Horizon Spear. Brooks translated the words and smiled. Alex approved the move. The Horizon Spear's engines lit gently as it changed course. The Cathari ships moved with it, not to threaten but to guide. For the first time, both sides felt closer to understanding. While approaching the moon, Alex walked the main deck and spoke softly to his crew. He reminded them that this moment mattered. Their actions would shape how humanity was seen in this region. He asked them to stay calm, respectful, and open. Brooks watched the moon grow larger on the display. Its surface was covered with pale dust and scattered ice ridges. It looked peaceful. On the Cathari side, Lersch spoke to his own crew. He told them to remain steady and respectful. He said that the humans seemed honest and that a chance like this could change their future. The Horizon Spear settled into orbit with slow elegance. The Cathari ships matched position nearby. Neither side raised shields. Neither side prepared weapons. This moment felt like the first breath of trust. Alex sent a message thanking the Cathari for their willingness to talk. Kaorin responded, saying he hoped this meeting would bring peace. The static between them still twisted some words, but the meaning grew stronger. Both sides could feel the distance shrinking. The crews on both vessels gathered near their viewing windows. Humans looked at the slim Cathari ships and wondered about the minds inside them. Cathari looked at the massive human vessel and wondered about the hearts behind such strength. Brooks whispered to Alex that she believed things would go well. Alex agreed, but he remained cautious. Peace was delicate. Lersch sent one final message for the day. He told the humans that the council wished to prepare a formal introduction soon. He asked them to rest, observe the moon, and stay in orbit until the next communication. Alex thanked him. As the link faded, both sides entered a silent but hopeful pause. The Horizon Spear drifted peacefully above the moon. The Cathari fleet watched with guarded respect. The space between them no longer felt as heavy as before, yet they all understood that trust was only beginning. The quiet orbit around the pale moon lasted many hours, but neither the humans nor the Cathari felt truly relaxed. Even though progress had been made, the air around both fleets still carried a careful tension. The humans understood that trust was slow, and the Cathari understood that fear could still shape their choices. Yet neither side wanted the fragile peace to break. Inside the Cathari Council Hall, Vreth Kaorin prepared for a new meeting. The images of the human ship Horizon Spear floated above the center table. Its heavy hull still puzzled them. To the Cathari, the ship looked like something forged in storms or carved from the body of a dangerous creature. They could not stop imagining what kind of world produced such a vessel. Kaorin called the meeting to order. He spoke in a low and steady tone. He said that they must decide how to continue communication. The humans had shown no aggression. They waited calmly in orbit. They had tried again and again to speak with honesty. Kaorin believed this deserved respect. Some council members disagreed. They argued that great strength often hides danger. They said the humans might be peaceful now but could reveal darker intentions later. They wondered if the star-worn armor of Horizon Spear was hiding weapons too powerful to detect. Kioran listened but shook his head gently. He reminded them that fear should not be their only guide. Still, he admitted that caution was important. He suggested a structured diplomatic sequence. The Cathari would send formal questions and the humans would reply. If the answers were reasonable, they would move to the next step. The council agreed. Captain Lersch received the instructions and prepared a message. He looked at the moon outside his window, its surface glowing softly. He wondered if the humans watched it with the same quiet feeling he felt. He sent the first formal question. Why had the humans entered Cathari space and what did they hope to gain from this region? On Horizon Spear, Lieutenant Melanie Brooks detected the incoming signal and called Commander Alex Carver to the main deck. She played the message. The words came through with much less static now. The communication field seemed to be stabilizing. Alex stepped closer. He listened carefully, then gave a soft nod. He told Brooks to prepare a thoughtful answer. He wanted to speak clearly and honestly. He explained that humans explored not for conquest but for understanding. He said they wanted to learn about new species and cultures. He said they hoped for friendship, trade, and shared knowledge. He added that they respected borders and would leave if asked. Brooks sent the message. On the Cathari side, the council listened to the reply in silence. The humans' words felt calm and simple, yet strong. Some council members began to feel less afraid. Others still believed it could be a trick, but Kioran sensed something real in the tone. He said the humans spoke as if they had carried heavy worlds on their shoulders. He ordered the next question. This time, Lersch asked about the strange design of Horizon Spear. He asked why it was built so heavy and why its shields acted like they belonged to a warship. Brooks played the message for Alex, who expected this question. He understood the fear behind it. He gave his answer with quiet patience. He said that humans came from a world that changed violently and often. Their storms were strong, their seas rough, and their mountains dangerous. Their skies held storms that could tear apart fragile structures. The early humans learned to build strong shelters, and this habit followed them into space. He said Horizon Spear was not a warship. It was a long-distance explorer built to survive harsh zones of space. Its design was strong because survival demanded it. When Lersch received the message, he felt a strange understanding. He imagined a world where life fought storms every day. He imagined creatures learning strength long before they learned speech. He told the council that the humans did not sound like conquerors. They sounded like survivors. Kioran absorbed this information with interest. He began to wonder what kind of beauty and danger shaped the humans. He told the council to ask one more question. He wanted to know if the humans carried any hidden goals or promises they had not yet spoken. Alex received this question aboard Horizon Spear. He smiled with a tired breath. He respected the honesty behind the question. He answered in simple terms. He said the humans had no secret goal. They only wished to understand the universe and find species they could trust. Brooks sent the message. Kioran listened and nodded deeply. He turned to his council and said that these humans seemed genuine. But he wanted one more step before deeper trust. He wanted a closer look at their ship, not with scans, not with probes, but through direct visual connection. Lersch sent the request. Brooks raised her eyebrows when she read the message. She looked at Alex with surprise. The Cathari wanted live visual contact. They wanted to see the humans themselves. Alex understood the weight of this request. He prepared the crew. He told them to stand with calm posture and open expression. He reminded them that every movement mattered. Brooks activated the visual link. The screen flickered with blue light. Shapes slowly formed. Then, for the first time, humans and Cathari saw each other. The Cathari looked elegant and soft, with slim forms and frilled crests that shifted with emotion. Their eyes glowed faint gold, filled with curiosity and fear. They did not look like warriors. They looked like thinkers. The humans appeared on the Cathari's display with steady eyes and calm faces. Their features were stronger and more solid. Alex stood at the center, his posture relaxed but confident. Brooks stood beside him, offering a gentle expression. For a moment, neither side spoke. Then Alex gave a small, respectful greeting. Lersch returned the gesture, though his crest trembled slightly from nervousness. Kioran stepped forward into view and introduced himself formally. He explained that the Cathari wished for peace but needed time to understand the humans. Alex said he respected that completely. Their words drifted back and forth. The tone stayed gentle, curious, and cautious. As the conversation continued, something unexpected happened. The static began to fade almost entirely. The connection became clearer. The link felt natural. Lersh asked Alex about human history. Alex answered with simple stories of growth, conflict, learning, and hope. He said humans had made mistakes in their past but worked to become better. Kioran shared short stories of Cathari exploration and culture. He said his people valued harmony, patience, and knowledge. He apologized softly for their fear. Alex responded kindly, saying fear was natural in first contact. More crew members from both sides gathered near their screens. Humans watched the graceful movement of Cathari crests. Cathari watched the expressive faces of humans and found the movements unusual but warm. The call lasted a long time. It felt slow, steady, and meaningful. When the link finally ended, both sides felt changed. On Horizon's spear, Alex let out a deep breath. Brooks smiled. The crew felt lighter. It seemed like the beginning of true understanding. On Lersh's ship, the crew whispered in relief. They felt the human sincerity. They felt respect growing. Kioran called for a final council meeting of the day. He spoke with confidence. He said the humans had shown honesty and calm strength. He said the Cathari must respond with trust. He proposed allowing the humans to move closer to the main conquered station for formal talks. The council debated but eventually agreed. Lersh sent the new message to Horizon's spear. Brooks played it. Alex smiled again. The Cathari wanted formal diplomatic contact. They wanted progress. But he also noticed something else in the message. The Cathari still carried fear. They wanted the humans to approach slowly with steady movement. Alex understood. He gave orders for the ship to begin a gentle course toward the conquered station. The engines glowed softly. The ship drifted with slow grace. The Cathari ships followed beside them like small guides leading a giant who wished only to walk peacefully. During the journey, Brooks adjusted sensors to keep communication clear. Alex walked the main deck, speaking quietly with crew members. They all knew this was a historic moment. They felt the weight of it. They hoped nothing would go wrong. On the Cathari side, Lersh kept close watch. He followed Horizon's spear's path with care. He told his crew to stay calm and hold formation. As the conquered station grew larger in front of them, the humans admired its elegant design. It floated like a silver ring with soft blue lights glowing along its edges. Brooks whispered that it looked peaceful. Alex agreed. The Cathari inside the station watched the approaching ship with mixed feelings. Some stood with awe, others with fear. The giant human vessel moved like a quiet mountain drifting through the stars. Kioran prepared a welcoming team. He told them to show calm faces. He told them that trust must begin with respect. When the Horizon spear reached the approach point, Alex sent a message announcing their arrival. Kioran responded with a soft greeting. The first stage of their meeting was complete. The next stage would decide their future. Both sides knew that the true test of trust was about to begin. But they also felt something new: hope. The approach toward the conquered station felt long and careful, even though the distance was small. Both the humans and the Cathari understood that the next steps would shape everything that came after. Trust was no longer a distant idea. It was now something that both sides needed to prove through action, through calm movement, and through honest words. Inside Horizon Spear, Commander Alex Carver stood at the front display and watched the large silver ring of the station grow brighter. Its soft lights shimmered against the dark background of space. The station looked peaceful, graceful, and welcoming. Yet Alex knew that not everyone inside it felt at ease. The Cathari had carried fear since the moment they saw human technology. That fear still lived in them, even if they tried to hide it. Lieutenant Melanie Brooks checked the communication channel once more. The link was clear now, with almost no static. She spoke quietly to Alex and told him that the Cathari were ready for the formal introduction session. Alex nodded and gave a soft breath. He knew this moment held great meaning. On the Cathari side, Vreth Kioran stood in the main observation hall of the station. His crest lifted slightly as he watched Horizon Spear's approach. The human vessel moved with slow dignity. It did not rush. It did not take aggressive paths. It respected the guiding route given to it. Kioran turned to his assistants. He reminded them to stay calm when meeting the humans. He said that calm behavior would build the bridge they needed. Captain Lersch arrived at the station soon after escorting the human ship. His crew stayed on board their vessels, watching with quiet attention. Lersch's feelings were mixed. He respected the humans now. Their strength no longer felt like a threat. It felt like the natural shape of a people shaped by a strong world. Yet he also understood that many Cathari still felt unsure. Horizon's spear finally stopped at the designated distance from the station. The ship's engines dimmed. Brooks sent a message announcing their safe arrival. Kioran replied with a greeting and invited them to begin the formal communication link. Alex asked Brooks to open the visual connection. She activated the panel, and the image of the Cathari Council Hall appeared on the screen. The soft blue lights of the hall gave the Cathari a calm look. Kioran stood at the center and spoke in a slow and respectful tone. He welcomed the humans to Cathari space and thanked them for their patience. Alex responded warmly, saying that he and his crew were honored to be there. The formal introduction began. Kioran asked the humans to describe their goals more deeply. He wanted to understand their long-term purpose. Alex answered with clear and steady words. He said humans wish to travel peacefully through this region, trading knowledge and goods if allowed. He said humanity valued cooperation. Some Cathari Council members shifted uncertainly, but Kioran held their attention. He asked Alex if humanity had enemies in other regions. Alex admitted that humans had faced challenges and conflicts, but he emphasized that they sought peace wherever possible. This honesty made the council murmur among themselves. Some appreciated the openness. Others felt anxiety hearing about conflict. Kioran raised a hand gently. He told Alex that honesty was respected. Then Kioran asked a more personal question. He asked what humans feared. Alex paused for a moment. It was a rare question, but he answered with simple truth. He said humans feared losing peaceful opportunities. They feared causing harm by mistake. They feared being misunderstood. This answer softened many Cathari faces. Their crests lowered in gentle understanding. They had feared these same things. Brooks watched the exchange with a small smile. She felt a connection forming across the distance. Lersch stood near the council members, observing the humans on the screen. He noticed their expressions, their steady posture, their open tone. He felt sure now that the humans meant no harm. Kioran decided it was time for the next step. He invited the humans to send a small diplomatic group to the station. Not many, only a small number, just enough to hold a peaceful meeting. This was a direct sign of trust. Brooks's eyes widened at the offer. She turned to Alex. Alex looked thoughtful for a moment, then he accepted. He told Kioran that he and a small team would travel to the station. He promised no weapons, no threats, only peaceful intention. Kioran thanked him. The link closed softly. Alex gathered his officers. He chose Brooks to join him along with 2 other crew members. All carried calm expressions, knowing the weight of what they were about to do. They prepared the small transport craft. Brooks checked safety levels. Alex repeated their peaceful promise aloud to remind the group. The transport left Horizon Spear and drifted slowly toward the station. Cathari ships repositioned around the path, not as guards but as escorts. Their presence felt careful but respectful. Inside the station, Kioran, Lersch, and several council members waited in the arrival hall. The hall was wide, with curved walls that glowed softly. The Cathari stood tall and calm, though some of their crests flickered nervously. The human transport landed. The doors opened with a quiet hiss. Alex stepped out first. Brooks followed him and the 2 others came behind. They stood straight, peaceful, and respectful. For a moment no one spoke. Then Kioran stepped forward. He greeted them in his soft voice. Alex greeted him in return. They approached each other slowly until they stood just a few steps apart. The first meeting in physical space had begun. Kioran studied Alex's face with quiet curiosity. Alex studied Kioran's glowing eyes and frilled crest. They looked different in every way, yet something familiar existed in their expressions. Kioran invited them to walk with him to the council hall. Alex agreed. As they moved through the station, many Cathari stopped to look. They watched the humans pass by. Some stared with fear. Others stared with awe. The humans walked calmly and did not touch anything unless invited. When they reached the council hall, the formal meeting began. Kioran opened the discussion by thanking the humans for their bravery and their patience. Alex returned the thanks, saying that mutual respect guided their steps. The council members asked about human culture, human values, and human travel methods. Alex replied with simple explanations. He described human families, human teamwork, and human hope for peaceful connection. Brooks added brief comments with a friendly tone. The Cathari listened closely. They were surprised by how warm the humans sounded. They had expected a species shaped by harsh worlds to be cold or strict. Instead, the humans showed steady kindness. Lersh asked a question about human strength. He wondered how they balanced power and peace. Alex answered honestly. He said that strength meant nothing if it did not protect peace. He said humans believed that the greatest goal was understanding. This answer touched the Cathari. Their crests lifted in agreement. As the hours passed, something shifted. The fear that had once filled the room began to fade. It was replaced by curiosity, respect, and even quiet admiration. Kioran asked if the humans would be willing to form a peaceful agreement with the Cathari. Alex said he would be honored to create such a bond. Brooks smiled. The two crew members behind her looked relieved. The council prepared a simple outline of cooperation. It included shared research, peaceful travel rights, and future cultural exchange. Alex read it and agreed. Before signing, Kioran asked Alex why humans traveled so far into unknown space. Alex answered slowly, choosing his words with care. He said humans believed that the universe held many voices and many stories. They wished to learn those stories and share their own. Kioran lowered his head gently. He understood. The agreement was signed. When the humans returned to Horizon Spear, the Cathari watched their transport leave with calm and respect. Inside the ship, many crew members gathered to greet Alex and Brooks. They felt relief and celebration. The council had accepted them. Peace was no longer uncertain. It was real. Alex stood by the main window and looked at the conquered station glowing in the distance. He felt proud of his crew and hopeful for the future. On the Cathari side, Kioran stood in the council hall after the humans left. He felt lighter than before. The fear that had once clouded his thoughts now felt like a distant memory. He believed the Cathari had made the right choice. Lersh joined him and spoke quietly. He said he felt respect for the humans. Kioran agreed. Days later, small shared projects began. Cathari scientists requested tour of Horizon Spear. Human engineers visited sections of the conquered station. They exchanged ideas, gentle questions, and simple laughter. The two species had begun a path that would grow in time. The story of the great human ship, the one that many Cathari once feared, became the story of a new friendship. The Cathari remembered their first reaction. They had refused to believe such power was real. They had thought the ship belonged to a force too dangerous to trust. But in the end, they learned that the power they feared was not the strength of the ship. It was the strength of the humans' hope. The humans, too, looked back on the moment with respect. They saw how fear almost shaped their fate. They saw how patience and honesty changed everything. And as Horizon Spear drifted peacefully among the stars beside the Cathari fleets, both species understood something clear and simple. Peace did not come from strength alone. It came from choosing to trust, and they had chosen well.